Hello and welcome to the True North Show. I'm your host, Megan North, and I'd like to start by thanking the sponsors of the show, Quantum Awakening, Beth Lewis, Anne C. Clark, and my lovely guest who paid to be featured today. Today, I am thrilled to welcome Jennifer T. Donner, or I will be referring to her as Jenn. Jenn is a mindset and empowerment coach for women who have hit that enough is enough moment. The women who are tired of feeling stuck, behind, or secretly feel like they're failing at adulting, even when life looks pretty okay on the outside. She doesn't just understand that feeling, she lived it in her 20s. Jennifer had the steady job, the long-term relationship, and the support system, all the things that were supposed to add up to a good life. But beneath the surface, she felt anxious, stressed, and quietly depressed, constantly wondering, is this really it? A pivotal wake-up call became the beginning of a very different path. For the first time, Jenn stopped trying to figure out everything alone and opened herself to therapy, coaching, and a deep inner work. What followed was gradual and powerful return to herself, built on honesty, self-compassion, and a willingness to question the stories that had been running her life. That journey led Jenn to her true north. Love that, her true north. Helping other women find their way back to themselves. She works with women who are done suffering and ready to trust themselves, reconnect with who they are, and feel genuinely excited about what is next. Her style is warm, playful, and disarmingly honest. She normalizes the hard stuff and creates space for women to feel less alone. Now, when she's not coaching, you'll find her rock climbing, kayaking, or puzzling alongside her husband and their very opinionated cat, Sammy. Jenn, welcome to the True North Show. I'm so excited about our conversation today.
I'm so excited just to be in your space. I love it. You put me at ease. I'm ready.
Oh, great. And is Sammy on the side listening to this conversation too?
She is. I have given her lots of different plates of food, so hopefully she will not share her opinions while we're recording. So I did my best to sort of anticipate her needs as always. She is 17 years old. She is our baby. She gets whatever she wants because she deserves it. And so, yeah, she's a little high maintenance as she gets older. So, we do our best.
Yeah. So Jenn had the job, the relationship, the support system. Everything was supposed to equal a good life, and yet something was still deeply missing. So stay with us, because after the commercial break, Jenn is going to share exactly what happened when she finally stopped trying to figure it out all on her own. Welcome back to the True North Show. I'm here with mindset and empowerment coach Jenn Donner, and we're about to get into the kind of honest, real conversation that I know so many of you love to watch and listen to. Okay, so let's start with, what does it actually feel like to have everything but then still feel like something's missing? What was going on for you when that was happening?
So what you alluded to in the introduction was just a teeny bit of what it really felt like. So I had a good job. I had, it was stable. I was great at it. I had colleagues that I enjoyed being around. They relied on me. It was stable. I had good benefits. I was at home. I had my relationship, I'm trying to think, I wasn't married yet, but my longtime partner of 29 years, we were together. We'd probably been together. Well, we met when we were like 17. So in my 20s, we'd been together for a long time. And so he was sort of this unshakable foundation for me. And between him and my identical twin sister, who I came into the world with, I really had two people that had my back, that I could lean on, that, could help me through anything. So those were the pieces. I had a beautiful home. We had, my now husband, Miguel, and I, we had a beautiful home. And I just was completely unhappy. I knew I had those pillars, but my feeling about everything was really hard. I mean, I was suffering every day. I was noticing people around me leaving their job, moving on to bigger and better things, getting married, having kids, having these big life milestones, or just seemingly living their life. I actually did not feel that I was living my life. In fact, my evenings and my weekends were taken up by recovering from the day, because as my work became more stressful and I started to realize I'm great at what I do, but I'm not fulfilled by it, that freaked me out. It was very stressful because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I never had a sense of direction in life. I felt that a lot of my friends growing up, as we got closer to that college age, had a direction, had something that they wanted to do or to study in college. And I just never had that. Even it took me until probably a couple of days before the deadline to even say what my major was going to be in college. I just never knew. And so the job that I had at the time was the job that sounded the most interesting at that sort of entry level. You're a college graduate. What is it that you want to do? I don't know. And so this was early 2000s. I'm flipping through a newspaper looking for job ads, just trying to find something that maybe piques my interest. And so I just sort of fell into corporate work because it just seemed like the standard path.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any other desire. I guess I'll do that. And over time, it just started to wear me down. And I felt scared that I didn't know what I wanted because it seemed like other people did. So my fear was, one, what if I never figure that out? Is this how life is going to be forever? I just kind of resigned myself to, at least I have a job and I can pay my bills. And the other side of that was, it was depressing. Every moment I would be at work and I would be having a conversation. Somebody would come up to me with a question and I'd be engaging with them as I'm doing with you, but there would be a whole other conversation happening behind me in my head, because what I came to a conclusion of, well, I'm smart, I'm creative, I should be able to figure this out on my own. It seems natural for everybody else to adult, to make choices, to make changes, to shift, to make, to choose a different path. So maybe if I just gave it more time,
Yes,
I could figure it out. So all day, every day, in the back of my mind, I would be investigating, wondering, assessing. That was the start of my anxiety. It's for probably almost 20 years now, I have struggled with anxiety. That to me was the starting point because I was alone. I felt lonely all the time in feeling stuck in not knowing what to do, in that everybody else had somehow figured it out and I was left behind.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to catch up.
Yeah.
So it was a really hard place. And I would spend my free time sort of recovering or having my sister or my husband sort of talk me through things. So I wasn't even enjoying my life. I had no excitement for the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was I to be excited about? There was just no path forward. It was just, I was here with no ability to leave this stuck, unhappy place.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can absolutely relate, because your story and my story are mirror images, right? Like, I mean, it's like I'm your other twin, because, the work that we do is very similar. But I can completely relate to what that was, because I was in the same position, and it's just that feeling of that emptiness. Like, I remember feeling that emptiness of knowing I'm really good at my job, but it was almost soul destroying, in a sense, that
Yes.
it was just so empty. And those questions, what am I doing? Is this it? Oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll just hold out for another year.
Yes.
Because you're getting paid really well and you've got
Mm-hmm.
lots of benefit, all of that. So yeah, I can completely relate to, and I have no doubt that a lot of people listening would be nodding at everything that you're saying as well, because we think that everyone's got it sorted and worked
Yes.
out, but actually we'd probably be quite surprised if we took an honest toll of people saying, when you go to your job every day, how do you actually feel?
Feel about it. That is such a gold nugget, because I think we operate inside of our little vacuum, right? We're the only one that's inside our head with our internal thoughts. And
Yeah,
people don't go around just having these really honest conversations where people feel safe to be forthcoming about how they feel. So the comparison is really just to the facades
yeah,
of
yeah,
everything that we see, which we know is not the truth at all. And so
yeah,
that's something that I've grown to learn over time. Is I have yet to meet somebody who actually feels like they have it together and they figured it out, even if they're an expert in their field or
yeah,
industry.
yeah,
They're still dealing with this imposter syndrome. I think I've started to really deepen my understanding of what it is to be human.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, what a complex job it is.
Oh, I don't have I don't have it figured out, but I definitely have a better understanding, and it's allowed me to let go of a lot of the judgments and the really harsh talk that somehow there's just something wrong with me, versus my experience is part of just what it is to be
Yeah,
human.
yeah, yeah. And the guilt as well, like letting go of that guilt, like feeling guilty about the fact that, that narrative used to run through my mind. But I'm really paid really well, and
Yes.
I've got so much more than a lot of other people, and I should, da 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 da. So
They
yeah, that
wish they
guilt.
had these
Yeah,
pieces. I
yeah,
shouldn't be unhappy. So maybe it's just a reframe. Maybe if I just felt grateful for that, but I think over time, and we absolutely relate to this, the years just start grinding you down until you realize, okay, I can't talk myself out of this
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or talk
Yeah.
myself into
Into
staying.
it.
Maybe that's what it is. No, it's fine. You'll be
Yeah.
fine. Maybe tomorrow will be better.
So what happened? Like, what was that pivotal moment that you decided that you really wanted to step out and to do what you do now? Like, what was that?
So it's this is the reason why I'm pausing. Is there wasn't a pivotal moment that led me to say, okay, I want to coach. The pivotal moment started me on my inner transformation, which led to coaching, because what my purpose was, personally, like in my 20s and into my 30s, was I just don't want to be this unhappy. I
Mm,
wanted to stop suffering. I wanted to feel better about myself, about my life. I wanted to enjoy my life. And so the pivotal moment that you alluded to earlier, that wake up call for me was inside of my marriage. Now, my husband and I, we met when we were 17. We'd been together, I think I can't quite recall exactly when this happened, but I think we'd been together over 10 years. We've been married for a few years. And I was just like, I never have to worry about him. We love each other. I trust him. Like he's always going to be there for me. I just never thought otherwise. And then there was just one day that he just came to me and out of the blue in a kind and loving way he basically just shared that he needed some space. Like he just kind of had hit this moment. He couldn't do it anymore. And do it, what it was that he was like, he couldn't do anymore was really just supporting me all the time, pulling me out of the dregs of just this unhappiness, because again, I relied on him and I relied on my twin sister to just get me through.
Mm.
I was like, please help me, please, please help me. Yeah. And he had sacrificed a lot in doing so. He had put himself on the back burner, his career, everything. And I was really caught off guard. And I think in my shock, I didn't immediately become upset, but there was this deep part of me that was grateful and knew that this was a turning point. Like I needed this in order, like get the help that you need, because I'd been, I just gave myself shivers.
Yeah, same. Oh, yeah.
Because I'd been talking for a while, I would share about being unhappy. I don't know what to do. And I think he was encouraging me, maybe work with somebody, because he didn't have the answers. I mean, as much as he wanted to fix it, he didn't know what to do. And my sister had been working with a therapist locally for a bit. And I was thinking, yeah, I should get back into therapy. But I never did. I never took that action. It was just years and years in my head, relying on the two of them. And what happened was, in that moment, I was like, well, I can't navigate this by myself. There's no way. And in just a couple of days, I was in my first therapy session. Now, I'd been in therapy as a younger person, but that was the first time as an adult where I'd really chosen it. My mom had my sister and I do therapy after my parents' divorce, and I did not want to be in therapy. So this was the first time that I myself kind of raised my hand and said, I want this.
Yeah.
And it's what changed everything. Now, that moment to this moment, we're talking maybe 18 years. It wasn't like next day I was this different person. It was transforming I finally started to seek outside guidance in what was happening internally to help me make sense of it, to understand it, to challenge it was the big thing. So I'm really grateful. I knew in that moment there was this intuition that this was a blessing, because again, I had felt so stuck for so long. Everything looked the same. Now something had changed. And I was, at least something changed. And if this is the kick in the pants I need to do something different finally, that I was grateful for it. It was very hard, but I would say within a month or so, we had come back together. He had moved back home. I mean, we still had a lot of work to do for many years. Sure. But the reason why was already in the space of being on my own, right? Because he moved out, and starting to do the work with a therapist, I started to shift already. And he started to go, oh, yeah, I'm liking this energy, this power, like how I was feeling about myself, how I was moving in the world. And I think it's what he always wanted for me first and foremost. And it showed the possibility that, things could be different.
Yeah. And I think when we it's a bit like being, I'm a healer, right? So there's times when I can just quickly do a quick healing on myself and I can shift through it quite quickly. But then
Yes.
there's some times where there's something that I feel really stuck on because I've got to get out of my own way and I've got to go and talk to someone else and get them to assist me, right? Because it's one of those things where sometimes I'm like, why can't I shift this? Then I go and work with a healer. Something else comes up because they've got a different perspective.
Yes.
Emotionally, they're not attached to me. They're also, you're paying money to, so there's an energy exchange of money. So there's an investment in both of your time. So everything about that then is, the conversation is completely different.
Yes.
And, sometimes I'll go to someone and they'll just, within 5 minutes, they'll say the one thing and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't I see that? Because, because that, and, my husband might have picked it up, or a friend, because, they're often in our bubble and they often don't see that too. There's often blind spots for us to see for them and vice versa. So, yeah.
I totally relate. You took the words right out of my mouth. I often say I need somebody like me for me that can help kind of sift through the muddy water to the clarity, because it's what I can now do for others, because we're not attached, right? We can sort of see what they can't see because they're so emotionally wrapped up in their experience.
Yeah.
So when sometimes if I get really activated, I have all these amazing tools that I rely on now.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I do still require seeking that outside support. And I mean, I do regular therapy still. I continue to have a network of people around me. I never have gone back to thinking I could do this by myself. I have really, really cherished the community that I have found and cultivated that I can go to, whether I pay them or not, whether it's that type of service, to help me in whatever I'm up to, because we're never intended to do life alone.
Yeah.
And I think when we leave ourselves to our own thoughts, right, and we don't share or lean on others, which can be a very scary and vulnerable thing. So I do understand why people don't. But when we sort of stay within ourselves, it can be very scary, very lonesome. And nothing that we're talking about today that I'm going to share was intuitive. I never woke up and understood any of this. It was never just delivered to me. I sought it out. And for all these years that I've been doing this really deep inner work, I have created my own toolbox.
Yeah.
But it only has come out of putting myself out there and having conversations and asking for the support of, here's where I'm next feeling really stuck, and I'm not okay with that. What am I not seeing,
Yeah. And, I think it's also really important for us too, because we coach people, that we're still constantly getting coached by someone as well, because I want to constantly level up. I want to grow and learn about myself and things every day, so that it then trickles down, and that's got that energetic trickle down effect, or ripple effect as we call it, to then our clients, to people who love us. I'm on this constant journey. And so it's really important that then we're walking the talk as well, because I don't want to go and work with someone and then they say, oh, I don't need a coach anymore. If someone said that to me, I'd be like, well, you're not the coach for me. No, because
it never ends. Anyway, I do hit a wall sometimes where I wish I could be done. Just check the box. Okay, good. And I'm not. I got that right now in this life. I am a sponge, and I enjoy learning. And there's just always the next level, because I think once I've sort of revealed a blind spot and I've worked with it, and maybe I'm having, some better capacity with it, it just reveals the next one. It's just, I've heard that transformation is a mountain with no top, and I completely agree. There's no finish line here,
Yeah. But it does, I find that the more work you do on yourself, and the more inner work you do on yourself, the quicker things are to transform then, though, because all of the deep dark, really heavy stuff we've already done, over the early years. And so the more work you do on yourself, it's actually quite quick to shift through things, I find. Yeah.
That's been one of the blessings for me, is the amount of time that I have gained back over the years. When I was talking about, being in my corporate job and losing evenings and weekends, I could truly, if something happened at work that really frustrated me, kind of set off, past baggage with this person, I could lose myself an entire weekend mulling over it, and I don't anymore. It's night and day. And I just am so grateful every day to be at this point. And I know I can get even more facile with it. I mean, life is constantly handing me opportunities to keep sharpening and honing that muscle. So
yeah.
I'm grateful for the opportunities. And sometimes I'm like, I'm good. I'm good for a little bit.
Yeah. Can I just have a month off?
Take a quick vacay over here, if you don't mind. Yeah.
And so what about mental health and well-being? So how does that play a part in your life? And I'd love to know, has your mental health and well-being evolved over time? Is it the same as what it used to be, or has it changed? What does it mean to you? Yeah.
I mean, it's night and day. I don't think in my 20s, when things just really started getting hard, I didn't have any concept of mental health or well-being, what that meant for me. I mean, I knew therapy existed, but there was never importance placed on it. And in seeking out the help, the programs, the coaches, the mentors, the therapists, I have created this toolbox of mindset tools, well-being tools over time that support me on a constant basis to really move through anything that comes my way. But I had no relationship with it. And I think that is a huge missing in our world globally. It's something that I have always had this desire, not always, ever since I started really getting into this inner work and seeing how understanding what it is to be human, starting to unpack, untangle my experience and get freed up around it, I would think to myself, why is this not taught in school? This is the most important thing you could teach someone, how to just freaking get through life. How do you navigate the ups and downs? We are not taught. So years ago, I had thought, oh, there should be this Life 101 course where, and I think now where I am with thinking of ways that I can sort of give back on a larger scale and help bring some of this to people without them even having to try hard to access it or spend a ton of money. It's out of this place of, we are doing a disservice to people. It's not fair. Nobody should go through what I went through, feeling alone, feeling stuck, feeling like I was feeling, not sure if there was ever going to be a silver lining or a way out. I did not know how to get out. And this was before podcasts, before YouTube, before social media. There wasn't, content readily available. And so people weren't talking about it. So maybe younger people do have a little bit more of a grasp now. I think it's something we talk about more. But my mental health, my well-being, I mean, it's in a drastically different place. I am so grateful for it. I feel really confident that I can navigate what comes up. And I obviously hope that things are rainbows and unicorns as much as humanly possible.
Love that.
And it's often not, but it doesn't spiral me out anymore. And so I have like a fortitude within my mindset that I really feel grounded in and safe. Like I feel safe internally, and I did not feel that before. I felt really helpless as an individual trying to figure this out, and now I feel grounded in myself.
Yeah, interesting. I often wonder though, when we review what's happened in our life and the times that we've been in really dark places and what we've learned and learned about ourselves and others as we've gone through that journey. I often wonder, if someone went through their whole life and actually never experienced anything like that, what would their life look like? I often wonder, is this the journey that I needed to go on to have all the deep lessons and the wisdom and all of that sort of thing? At the time, you're thinking, oh my gosh, really? But now when I reflect back, I often think, wow, well, if I hadn't been through that, then I might feel differently about this. And so it's an interesting thing to think about, isn't it, in that sense?
Oh yeah, you could get so deep in it. And I look back now and I realize everything happened exactly the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And it was hard for a really long time. But even when it was hard, I would have these moments of clarity or maybe intuition. Maybe I just always sort of knew what was ahead without really knowing clearly what that was. That this was happening for a reason, per se. And I used to tell myself, if this is happening, if I'm going through this now in order that it can help somebody in the future, or that there's some reason or purpose behind it, like, I'm okay with that. And I think that idea probably helped every once in a while.
Yeah.
But when you're really deep inside of it, it's hard to see any way out, and you try to sort of make sense of the moment. And it's only later in looking back, things just line up now. I used to think my life is so hodgepodge and untraditional and weird, and I don't know how this is ever going to sort itself out.
Yeah.
And there's definitely more sense of it now, in like, okay, I get it, universe. You knew what was in store, and there were things I needed to move through in order to be here and to really help people, including myself.
Yeah. Actually, my cards behind me, there's a deck of oracle cards that I use. They're called Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. And one of her cards is, this is happening for you, not to you. And it's a really interesting card to get because it really gives you that mindset shift of, okay, this is some wisdom that I'm learning right now. I'm going to hold on. I'm going to trust the universe that, but it's a really interesting perspective. Yeah.
I would say over just the past year or so, I have anchored myself into that belief. And I have fully released myself into the hands of the universe. It's something that I share with others. Having that trust that no matter what comes up, it's happening for me. It's a gift and it's an opportunity. And it's not something that we can figure out in that moment, right? I get it. That's happening because, like, I can see.
Yeah.
It's just the trust that it is shifts everything.
Yeah.
And it really helps me if my default ways want to kind of take me back into that victim mindset. I go, no, there's no victim here. If this is a gift in some fashion, then I don't know. It helps me reframe and just let go a bit and trust. So I love that. That's one of your favorite cards because it means the world to me.
It's really special. Yeah. And so I'm assuming, like, with your kayaking and your rock climbing and being outside, that's something that really rejuvenates you, grounds you, centers you. Yeah.
Yes. Being outside is major for me. And I had a friend point out that as a Virgo, I'm an earth sign. And so apparently that means that I love all the elements.
Yeah.
And because I love the sun on my face, I love to feel breeze on my skin. I love being by the water. I love being in nature. And I live I live in Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C., and it's urban. And the older I get, the more I am yearning for more open space, more quiet, and more nature. And it's something that I really is becoming much more important to me than I ever realized. But just being connected with the outdoors and animals are really my number one passion.
Yeah.
And someday I'm going to figure out a way to do even more with and for them. But being out in nature, hearing the birds, seeing squirrels or any kind of wildlife, it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
And I don't get enough of it. Like, I'll be honest. It's something that I'm still working to bring more in to my world. But I have, where I live now, I have a small outdoor balcony, and I go out there every single day, and it gives me something, even though I can hear people and I can hear some cars, just being able to be in the elements and not inside. It's, I don't know, sometimes I call myself a sunflower, where I just I want to put my face up to the sun, and receive the energy, it's rejuvenating. It's something that, and moving my body is also really important, especially the older that I get. I'm realizing it's very, very important.
So let's talk about the work that you do. So why do you think so many women who look fine on paper and then still feel like they're stuck or lost on the inside? Like, what do you think? I mean, we've touched on this, but with the work that you do with the women that you coach, what are some of the things that come up that then stop them from moving forward or staying in this stuckness?
So it's what was the limiting factor for me was the mindset, was the thoughts, right? Because, and it's why even before I knew I was going to coach, I came up with the name of my business, Live, Love, Life Now. It became a mantra for me when I was at my most stuck, because, as I mentioned, I was not living life.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but on Mondays you'd go into the office and people would sort of debrief and download about what they did on the weekend. I used to stress about Mondays because I never had anything to say. And of course, the comparison of people going like, oh, I went on a hike, or we did a road trip, or I don't know, name anything that I wasn't doing. And of course, it left me feeling less than. Again, something else is wrong with me, And so that mantra became something that I aspired to live, life now, as go out and start living now. And what it's morphed into is this idea that at any moment we can love our life and we can live it fully without any changes being made. Because I think a lot of times the stuckness, we don't believe we can get unstuck until an external thing happens.
Yeah.
Like, I'm feeling stuck in my relationship. If only my partner did fill in the blank, or if I got that raise, or, when we're able to move out of our apartment and buy our first house, all of those things, that's going to be the linchpin. For me, I think mindset is, and I'm biased here, I believe mindset is really one of the most important things in life. It becomes the source of how life occurs.
Yeah.
Who we are, what we think is possible for ourselves and our lives, possible for a future. And so typically when I'm dealing with stuckness with clients, and there's a sense of feeling lost or uncertain, depressed, whatever that might be, even though on the outside, again, people could look and say, oh, but they have the house, and they have the relationship, and they have their own business, or, what have you. Or they have a family, they have kids. What is there to complain about? It's because external life has no relationship on how we feel in our happiness meter. But there's this false belief that it does, and it comes from, TV commercials and ads and social media. Anytime somebody's trying to sell something, they're like, well, look at this happy family in their brand new car. driving cross country to the beach, okay, well, if I had all those things, I could feel the way that they look.
Yeah.
And so it's really necessary to start untangling the internal experience.
Yeah.
Because once we can untangle that, there's still probably plenty of things that might actually need to shift in addition to mindset. But when you're feeling stuck and disempowered and just frustrated, disappointed, stressed out, it's really hard to create or to take action from there. We have a saying, can't put lipstick on a pig, or it's like putting lipstick on a pig. Yeah. If you don't clean up what's underneath, it's really hard to build anything on top of that.
Yeah.
And so I guess maybe I'm a little bit of a cleaner, helping people sort of make sense of the internal mess.
Yeah.
Right. And start organizing it and finding homes for it and better understanding how it fits in and how it impacts. So I think that, looking fine and feeling fulfilled are completely different, right? One's an external experience, the other is internal. And so that's my world, the internal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that. Because when we're doing the work on ourselves, that our energy shifts, right? I mean, you talked about that when you started doing that work, even within a month, Miguel noticed and went, whoa, like your energy already,
Yeah.
So we do that, and then that energy starts to shift in us, and then people start to feel it differently. It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. And I would say if I had to label that energy, there's possibility that started to show up. There was more understanding and compassion for myself. I didn't feel alone anymore. I started to break through the feeling of there's something wrong with me. I truly carried that weight for years.
Yeah.
I'm a failure. There's something wrong over here. And I know that my experience is unique in how it looks, all of the details, but it's not rare.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really why, as I started to free myself up and be able to experience more joy and hope and ease and power and confidence and all the things in my life over time, we're talking this is, don't want anybody to have some false expectation that I suddenly, in the matter of months, was this whole brand new person.
Yeah.
It took a long time. But as I realized it was possible, I wanted to share with those around me, because I was like, I don't want anybody else to feel the way that I was feeling for so long. It really became important to me. And that became my true north, right? The passion and the purpose that I always wanted to discover came out years after I started just trying to heal and to help myself.
Yeah.
It showed up, something I never actually expected to find. I never thought I was actually going to discover my purpose.
Yeah, I love that. And the thing is too, is that when we uncover and find our true north, when we start following it, everyone else notices too. And it doesn't matter what work we're doing, but people see the shift in us because we're then so aligned with why we are here. Then it's just so obvious. Everything then becomes really easy because we're so aligned. The whole true north, some people might think it's a bit naff, but there's actually real deep meaning to it in that sense. There's real alignment, and it's really beautiful.
Yeah, I think and I can feel the alignment with the universe, just things show up, right? It doesn't have to feel so hard. And I don't have to talk myself into it all the time, right? Yeah. Alluding back to those corporate days where I'm like, no, just stick it out a little bit longer. Maybe things will change, in the hierarchy or what have you.
Yeah.
And for me, again, I share my story because I care very much that first and foremost, nobody ever feels alone in their experience. If you are feeling frustrated, if you are feeling confused, disappointed, scared, honestly, you should. I don't love that word should anymore, but you should, because nobody teaches us how to navigate all the things that happen that give us those feelings and those assessments.
Yeah.
Once you start sort of making sense of that, of the internal burdens that are really wearing you down and limiting you, I think it allows your true north sometimes to surface. Because there was a lot for me on top of this purpose. Like, I had to first take care of myself before I could, because I was just really unhappy, and I was hoping, I was praying, please, could I just wake up, or could I stumble across something that just made it all make sense?
Yeah.
And I go, oh, that's it. And then everything changed from there. And it wasn't happening. It didn't happen. And honestly, the closer that I got to 30, I realized maybe I have to actually actively participate in my life, in having it sort itself out. I honestly assumed as a kid, looking at adults around me, all right, you just magically, you grow up and you get a good job and you get a house and you get married and you have kids. Like, I never put much thought into it. I just thought it happens.
Yeah.
And when I had almost none of those things when I was getting 30, nor I think did I want a lot. Like, I was scared of all of the adult stuff. I was just like, oh God.
Yeah.
maybe I was wrong. It's not just going to click.
Yeah.
I have to be more involved. And fortunately, my husband gave me the kick in the pants, if you will. Not really, everybody, but like, I got that incentive and that wake up call.
Yeah. Yeah.
To start actively participating. And there was enough that I was dealing with that I couldn't actually stay alone anymore, right? It got too hard to navigate on my own. And it's it was required of me. Like, things sometimes have to get hard for me in order to make changes.
Yeah.
That's just what I've learned. So until that moment, I guess it wasn't painful enough.
Yeah. 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 And it's interesting that you referred to that should. Over the years, when I've questioned myself and said, like, I should, one of my nieces, who I'm very close to, she would say, oh, Auntie Megan, are you shouldering all over yourself again? And it would make me stop. And so for me, that mindset shift of when women are shouldering, it's do that mindset shift and a one word change of, if you're saying I should be doing this, you can change it to I can be doing this.
Yes.
The should to the can, and it completely changes the whole scenario.
Oh, it really does. And I love what you said, because I learned that as well. Should needs to be outlawed in the same way that the 4-letter S word, right, it's a no word. That's how we should relate, which is why shoulding on yourself can catch people off guard. Like, whoa, what did you say?
Yeah.
And I think it was my therapist many years ago who brought up that change from should to could. She actually switched it, right? It's just like a couple of letters, and it really does alter everything, because should carries a lot of responsibility and burden and expectation and pressure and a right or a wrong. You either did it or you didn't, but you should have done it. So I think I look out for that in language, because language is really powerful and it can create the world. Or actually, it does. It's not that it does create the world that we live in. So before I even got into transformation work, people would point out to me all the time, wow, you really talk negatively about yourself. Like, you're really hard on yourself. Right. They could hear that in my language, because I think I was always shoulding myself and judging myself harshly for where I was or wasn't. And it just, because it was such a always ongoing conversation in the back of my head, it just came out when I would talk to other people. And that doesn't happen anymore. And I feel really grateful because I was really mean to myself. And so I'm always kind of on the lookout. And it's one thing that I love working with people on, freeing themselves up or catching and reframing or challenging when they go, I know I should have. And I go, why? Why should you have? Your response sounds like a perfectly normal human being reaction. And now if there's unworkability or if there's a stuckness there, let's work through that. But none of the judgment, the harsh criticism, like, I'm over it. And I love starting to really break people free from that, because it's sneaky.
Yeah.
It's really, really sneaky. I wasn't even aware. People would point it out and I still couldn't catch myself. It was unconscious, because it's what I guess it was tied to what I believed about myself, which was not very nice.
Well, that's it. Exactly. You judge yourself because you don't really rate yourself or you don't believe in yourself. And so it's easy to do that. Whereas we wouldn't do that to a friend or probably even a stranger. We don't know what the story is, so we wouldn't judge or make those comments to someone, but it seems easy that we can to ourselves.
I know. Yes, we are not kind naturally to ourselves. And I think the inner voice is something that it takes some time to kind of build a muscle around how you interact with that voice and the thoughts and the emotions that are running through that. We aren't in control of the thoughts that come to us, but we very much can be in control of how we respond. And I think that's what we were talking about earlier. I no longer get stuck in those thoughts. I can work my way through them, with curiosity, space, observing them. Like, there's a whole host of things that I do. But the first step for all of that was even being aware that was happening, because it was a blind spot for me. It was happening unconsciously all the time. And I didn't know how to look at it differently until I learned.
Yeah. Yeah. So, as I said, our conversation was going to fly, and we literally only have a couple of minutes left.
No.
So this is going to be a quick answer to my usual question that I ask all of my guests to finish our conversation. So what's one lesson or truth that you've learned on your journey that you wish you had known earlier? Or is it maybe that you are happy with what you learned? And
I have learned that it couldn't have happened earlier.
Yeah.
Right. But I still sometimes have that language of, I wish I had gone into this place. I still do say that, even though I know that it couldn't have happened any other way.
Yeah.
I would say the lesson or truth that I wish I had learned earlier / I'm really grateful that I did learn. And it's one that I want to help others learn, is that there's nothing wrong. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong. Because I deep down was truth that there was something wrong with me for how I felt about myself. There is nothing wrong with how to whoever's listening, if you're struggling, if you've ever struggled, if you run into, stuckness or challenges, there's nothing wrong with it. You are a perfect, imperfect human being. This is what it looks like to be human. And guess what? Every single person on the planet is experiencing this confusion journey of, how can I be happier? How do I get through this the best that I can? We literally are all doing that every day.
Yeah.
So that was the lesson. I'm not failing. There's nothing wrong, and I'm not broken. And it is the foundation of what I do in the world now, not only through one-on-one coaching, but through things that I'm creating for people. Because I love, that's the thing that I probably love the most in what I do when I'm with people, is normalizing.
Yes. Yeah.
Wherever they are, there is nothing wrong in your experience. There's nothing wrong with how life has gone. There's nothing wrong with how you're feeling. There's literally nothing wrong here.
Yeah.
And that can be life altering. So
beautiful way for you to wrap that up. I love that. Yeah.
Thank
really
you. Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And I know that we've known a little bit about each other, but it was really lovely for me to just hear more of your story and more of your journey. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It has been an absolute honor and a gift. I'm grateful to be able to share with more people, just anybody listening, you're not alone. I'm in this with you. We can do this.
And I'd also like to thank all of my amazing and dedicated audience, supporters, and again to my sponsors. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful rest of the week. And I look forward to seeing you all again next week. And again, Jenn, thank you so much.
Thank you, Megan.